Today we working on a Chrysler Town & Country 2003, and I gonna do a test in the coil. We already know the coil is bad, but I gonna show you how I determine that doing a coil stress test, what is called. I using a test light, condensate test light. And first I want to show you let me see here. Powertrain, we got two coats, which is gonna be, I guess last night we got cylinder 301, P0301 misfire, and P0304 misfire. And all we did, this is cylinder 4 here. We take this out, use a test light, using engine ground somewhere. Don't use the battery ground. Battery can explode doing that test, so never use the negative and the battery to do this test. And what I'm gonna do is a stress test in the coil and show you how to do it. You can do that in any coil unplug, any coil, you can do that. You expecting the arc to be blue and white. Yellow is not good. So let me, the scanner is right now, I'm using the AutoSys IM600, and I got my brother-in-law here, David, is gonna help me with the cranking the engine, and we go from there. This is the test light that I'm using. Regular test light will do. And the ground that I'm using is the bolt and the manifold. You can use there, just as I use this one here, you can use that one as a ground. To make sure you got a good ground, you go to the positive and the battery, and the test light should light up. As you can see, I got a good ground. Now we're going to do the test, okay? All right, what you want to do, you can see the engine misfire there. And this is the test light. You want to get from the center here and pull the plug slowly back. I don't know if you can see that. But that is not a good spark there. You can see if I stress it like half an inch, I don't got nothing. Now we're going to number 6. Can you see the blue spark there? Yes. And you see half an inch almost out of the, and you see the spark. That's good stress in the coil right there. Okay, David, turn it off. Uh, 20,000 kilovolts, 10,000 kilovolt, 2,000 kilovolt, and 30,000 kilovolts. So I'm gonna use this tool to see how much this thing is stressing, and I'm gonna set it up, because that coil is bad. I'm gonna set it up in 10 or 2 to see how many kilovolts we got there. because I don't think it's gonna reach 10. Right now, guys, I got it in 10 kilovolts there, and you can see nothing happened there. That is 10 kilovolts. Turn it off, David. Yep, start it up. All right, this is now 2 kilovolts. Nothing happened yet. Oh, just a little bit. You see it? 2 kilovolts. All right. Turn it off, David. Definitely not good coil. Go ahead, David. Guys, that's 20,000 in the coil number 6. 20,000 kilovolts. And you can see the spark there. White and blue, that's a good coil there. Unfortunately, the center coil is bad. All right, guys, thank you. Thank you for watching. Bye. Okay guys, this is a 2003 Chrysler Town & Country Simpson R check engine flashing P0 300, 301, 304, backfiring, loss of power. Let's get familiar with this. This here is the front of the engine. This here is engine block. This is the drive belt here. And this is the coil pack, what they call in waste spark ignition coil. Now, and down here is the firing order. Now, what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna get you familiar with this, and we're gonna do what they call a stress test in the coil. It's a quick test to know if the coil is good or bad. And as you can see, the firing order here is 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. I put it here 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Now, as you can see, this is a 3-coil coil pack. This number 1 and 4 is 1 coil. So this is 3 and 6 is 1 coil, and 5 and 2 is 1 coil. Now, it makes sense. We got 304 and 301. That's the coil in the center. And as you can see, 301 and 304. That was the codes in the engine computer. Now, what we're gonna do on a stress test in the video, we're gonna disconnect all the wires, make it easy to pull out, and then use a regular test light. And when we're using the regular test light, we're gonna separate the test light from the tip here like 1/2 inch, and we're gonna see the arc from the tip of this to the test light. And what color is the arc? You want that color to be white and blue. Yellow is not good. So here I put more information for you guys, which is the color wire and the connector behind the coil. The coil sits like this in the engine, so the connector is gonna be right in the back. You got 2 10mm bolt holding the coil, so that is good to know. And what is a waste spark ignition? A waste spark ignition is when the computer fires number 1 cylinder and compression stroke, it will fire number 4, and waste stroke, it will be the exhaust stroke and the compression. All right, so when it fires number 1 and the compression stroke, it will fire the same cylinder, but it will be in the waste, what they call waste spark, and it will be in the exhaust stroke in the compression. Now, that is explaining what is the waste spark. I got the connector here. You got 4 pins in the connector from the car harness, and this is back probing. Number 1, it will be coil negative, will fire the computer at ground to coil number 3, and number 2 is ignition, coil ignition. When you put the switch on, that number 2 should have power, and the brown and white color code wire, and number 3 pin, it will fire coil number 1, dark blue and green color code, and number 4 pin, it will fire again, providing ground to the coil, and that will fire coil number 2, and the color code, it will be dark blue and tan. Now, if you're doing a spark plugs wire, then you use this here. You see the center is be your number 1, and the second wire from, it will be cylinder number 3. It will be this cylinder number 3. This is cylinder number 1, and this is cylinder number 5. So when you're doing a spark plug wire, you want to make sure those wires are in the right position here with the coil. So 1, 3, and 5, and over here will be 2, 4, and 6. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, but in the coil is different, and the coil will be 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So that's what you gotta know when you're doing a spark plug wires, and many variables about when you gotta like I say, a P0, 300, 301, and 304. Variables are when you got a misfire, it could be you missing fuel, you get air in that area, air from the intake manifold, fuel injection, compression, a spark, a bad wire, a bad spark plug. So it's many variables. So this is a quick test how to do this test to make sure, because if the coil pass the test, the stress test that we're gonna do, then you gotta find out why that engine is misfire. Either it's a wire problem, so you gotta disconnect from the, let's say it's the 4, and it will be an easy one. So okay, I got good spark here, and the coil is not the coil, so I'm gonna connect the wire, and I'm gonna check the end of the wire here with the same test light and make sure I got an arc in that spark plug wire. If I don't got an arc in the spark plug wire, so I got a bad wire. So it's many variables about that. So this is a quick test for testing the coil, a stress test coil test. Okay.